All right, welcome to YinzCenter. This is the Gray brothers here, live from Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Not really live, we're recording this, but anyway, welcome to the show. This is YinzCenter.
Hello.
I am Cody Gray.
I am Nevin Gray, and our guest today is Dan McCoy.
Yep, he's hanging out with us in studio here.
Hi.
He's a longtime teammate in sled hockey of both mine and Cody's, actually, and also a one-time Paralympic gold medalist and two-time world champion?
Yeah, 2 times.
Two-time world champion in sled hockey.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right, yeah.
a lot of good sports insight coming.
Mm-hmm. So the main reason why should you even listen to this show? I mean, sure, you're going to get some good sports insights from one guest, but
Right.
I think we actually do have some really exciting news here for everybody to embrace. Nev, you want to tell the people what's going on? What's going on?
So, like Dan, like I said, won a gold medal in 2014 in the Sochi Paralympic Games, and my goal is to train over the next 2 years to hopefully make the 2026 Paralympic team and win a gold medal.
2026, and that would put you.
That would put me at age 29, and that would put me in 16, 15 years. Well, I guess give or take.
With the U.S. program?
Just trying to get into the U.S. program, like the national level program. Obviously, you know that I had spent 6 seasons with the national development team, as well as what, man? We have 24 seasons together with the Penguins, Mighty Penguins sled hockey program.
Yeah, together. Yep.
Yeah. So we got also in the house as well. We never mentioned Dan McCoy, who is the all-time leader in Pittsburgh Mighty Penguins points, assists, goals, hits, shots blocked.
Just about everything you can think of.
Not saves.
He's no,
don't do that.
No.
Not saves.
I shoot the puck at people. I don't block it.
Believe me, I know that. A little too well.
So so the 2026 Paralympic Games, they were going to be in Milan, Italy.
Yep.
And giddy up, I want to get to Italy. Oh. I need a good reason to go to Italy. This is the best reason I can ever fathom coming up with would be to come out and root for.
It's a pretty damn good one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And catch some mountains.
Exactly.
See, I'm not even gonna watch your games. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go see Europe.
If there's ever a moment when you're there that you're not eating pasta or pizza, I'm gonna be upset.
Well, that's what you were saying earlier. Like you probably wouldn't be able to compete in those games because being Italian, that's all you would just pig out on all of the pastas and everything you can.
Yeah, my nana's from Calabria, which is I think in the foot area.
I think so.
But she grew up in the hills of Italy, not any city or anything. Right. So she makes authentic Italian, but the dialect she speaks isn't even spoken there really anymore. Jesus, it's like going to West Virginia or something and going into the hills and hearing how they talk.
You're just
you kind of know what they're saying, but it's completely different. But the kind of food my nana makes probably isn't even made. Really? Jeez. So I don't know if I'd be able to go over there and again not be able to eat the food.
Yeah. I think that goes for just about anybody though.
Yeah.
I mean, Italian or not.
Yeah, exactly. And it's completely different. It's not obviously not Americanized. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's going to just be all the authentic,
unreal,
and just the atmosphere and leaving the country to not go to Canada.
Yeah, that's always a plus.
I like that.
Not going to Canada is always a plus.
So Dan, tell us while speaking of leaving the country and going to these games, you went to the motherland.
I did.
Sochi, 2014.
Indeed.
So what was that all like, man? Did you get some Russian gas over there?
Yeah. So it was pretty crazy. So it was 2.5 weeks, and I was there a week before my family was there. So I guess backing up just a little bit about the story, like Nevin said, we've been playing together for 24 years. I've been personally playing for 25, give or take. Mm-hmm. But the first time I got in a sled, I cried. I'm sure my parents remember, obviously, my our coach, Ray Harding, he probably remembers because his son, Zach Harding, and I started around the same time. It really wasn't even that much earlier than Nevin, but like I always like to say, started in '98 just because
he throws in that like little 6-month barrier there. Like,
I was in the sled. It counts.
Does it though? Because you were crying.
Hey,
I'm pretty sure I did not
I was
cry.
crying on the ice. Wasn't crying in the locker. Well, I cried in the locker room too, but I got on the ice. I had to get pushed, but there was that.
We've come a long way.
Exactly.
You.
So from like 4 or 5 years old to 8 years old, I was just kind of farting around, not crying as much. But at 8 years old, our old teammate Josh Wirt competed in 2002 in the Paralympics.
Oh yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah, he's
the
legend.
OG of them, really, when it comes down to it. This in just Western PA for sled hockey.
Exactly. Yeah.
Living in Hollidaysburg.
Literally.
Yeah, he's another one you guys got to definitely get on.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll get him.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I saw him in 2002. I was actually at a tournament in Canada with my brother's hockey team where we were watching. I think it was like the TSN or whatever other sports channels they have. They had sled hockey on, and we saw him win the gold medal. And apparently, I looked at my parents and said, "This is what I wanted to do with the sport," as an 8-year-old kid. And most of the time, 8-year-old kids are like, "I want to be an astronaut," or "I want to be a doctor," or
right?
Whatever. At one point, I remember I wanted to be a used car salesman, not even like a brand new car salesman, just used.
Shout out Kenny Ross Ford.
There it is.
Give me a call. I can set you up with an appointment. 724-359-4501. Great ad read in. Thanks, Dan, for that
plug,
transition.
There you
Thanks
go.
for that
See, it wasn't even
transition.
planned. That was wonderful.
Thank you for that.
So back to the being in the hotel with your parents and brother.
Yeah.
I remember being in Canada with you a couple of years after that, and we were watching the U.S. and Canadian national teams play.
Yeah.
And one of the Canadian guys was behind the net with an American guy.
Exactly that.
And the American guy had the puck, and Mike Hallman, he had the puck and was skating out behind his net, and guy by the name of Billy Bridges came around the other end of the net and literally clotheslined him, just straight armed out.
Yep.
Your mother turned around, got very close to you, finger right in your face.
Yep.
You are never playing again.
Yeah.
And less than 10 years later or so, maybe 10, 12 years later, you had a gold medal.
Yep. Yeah, so
Awesome.
My mom was, the typical mother of a kid in sports where, like, she didn't care if we won or lost. She just didn't want to see me get hurt, which,
Right.
like, I never really sustained, like, super bad injuries, like, anything like that.
Thankfully, yeah.
But
neither
no,
one of us.
I mean, I've, gotten sleds to the face with my helmet, like, pushed up in my head. I've gotten sled to the jaw, stabbed a bunch of times, like, all this kind of stuff.
I got concussed pretty good.
Yeah, Cody's gotten a few good concussions.
I've been stabbed in the neck by my own teammate sitting to my right.
Zach.
Don't blame him. He's not here to defend himself.
Exactly. That's why.
That was you.
Like, it was an accident. You should have been wearing a neck guard.
How many stabbings? He stabbed me too.
Oh yeah.
He stabbed me once in the neck, and I was wearing a neck guard at the time.
It wasn't in the right spot though.
No, it was in the exact correct spot. You just somehow had so much force behind it that that's a little bit of a mark.
Heat of the moment,
Yeah,
things happen.
Exactly.
But going back to that moment, that was in Windsor or London.
No, that one was in London.
London. Okay, yeah, I remember that exact moment. Yeah, she turns around at me. She's like, "You're never playing at this level," and I was like, "What? I'm not that kind of player."
We were like 8, 10 years
Exactly,
old,
yeah.
so it was like, okay,
And it wasn't
we're
even
not
just
really like
the hit.
thinking.
It was the two biggest guys on either team.
Yeah,
So that was
both of them bigger than I am right now.
by a significant margin.
I'm right now sitting at a good 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So I mean, those guys had to have been a good 220.
So let's talk about, your actual shot. We're kind of looking, I was kind of checking out the rosters today for the 23 team, and there's a lot of great young players in the game right now.
There is,
a lot of like 99 and 2002 and like little babies. And we remember watching Declan.
Yeah.
And Brody Roybal.
So yeah, if you guys ever get a chance to see sled hockey games, Declan Farmer, the greatest player to ever play the game.
I knew that when he was like 7 years
so
old.
So I can honestly say though, I was better than Declan Farmer at one point for probably the first practice of his first camp in his first year on the national team.
I was going to say he was like 14 and you were like 20.
Exactly.
I do believe.
Yeah, but I can still say I was better than him at one point. But he was also able to use both hands, and it took me a solid 2 years to figure out which hand was his dominant hand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's unreal.
He's so
unreal kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're making your run for it. That's you're going to be in some good company.
So
there.
he's going to be. So he's going to be around. You know, Brody Royball's going to be around. Like those guys aren't going.
They have a young team.
They have a very young team.
But there are a couple of guys that did intrigue me because with looking at 26, got a couple guys at 1980 something birthdays.
Yeah.
Brandon Adam, Travis Dodson, Josh Misowich. All forwards there, and then even some early '90s birthdays. Brody's counterpart, Kevin McKee, he's gonna be getting up there come 26. Chris Douglas and Spudsy, Josh Pauls, all of them.
Here's the thing with Spudsy, though.
He's going to be around. I don't think he's going anywhere either.
He's going until he can't move anymore.
Exactly. He's going to be. He's this generation's Joe Howard.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's going to be in his 40s.
Well, he has that demeanor and that work ethic too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he does not quit.
I was actually trying out. So like I made it was called the under 20 team at the time in like 2007. It wasn't even taken over by USA Hockey. The development team for the Paralympic team. But I made that team, and my first experience with Josh Pauls, the current captain of the Paralympic team, was my first trip with the team was in Madison, Wisconsin. And this is when I met like Erica, Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Devitt, all those guys, a bunch of guys through the USA Hockey program. And my first experience with Spuds, really with anybody without, both legs as a double amputee, he put himself in a Coke machine. Or like a Pepsi, or a pop machine, I guess. It was one of those with like this,
like a vending machine,
the clear glass door. It had the clear glass door. They took out the shelves, and he just put himself in there and acted like he was stuck. So they were just periodically having people come through into this room, and he was just like banging on the glass and everything. He did that for so long, he broke the machine because his body heat just like caused the machine to malfunction, so it just broke. It was the funniest. Oh, it was hilarious. So,
wonder if that machine's ever been the same since then.
Exactly.
Yeah, probably not. No.
No, so, but I was going to say I spent 2 years on that team, and then at 16 I made the national team. And every year you have to try out, still to this day, right?
Right. Yeah.
So just because you're on it 1 year doesn't mean you're going to be on it the next.
Yeah.
So from 16 to 20, I tried out every year. Was blessed to make it every year, and obviously, you were around for those kind of things. I probably didn't treat everyone the way I probably should have.
I don't think we had any issues.
I just remember being very angry at times and just yelling at people growing up. So I kind of
listen. I wasn't even on the national team and I was doing that shit. So you are fine.
But
I mean, that was a lot of pressure, though. I mean, you think,
I mean,
you're a young kid, and honestly, you were the face of sled hockey in
at least the state of Pennsylvania, if not Pennsylvania. Probably the Mid-American
dude,
district
you're on a fucking Permane Brothers wall in the South Side, and you're going to be there for forever with Josh Word.
Josh and I are next to Joe Manganiello.
And Joe Manganiello.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Didn't even know who that was until like after that thing aired. And
Man Rock.
They were like, yo, you're next
God,
to... They were like, yo, you're next to Sofia Vergara's husband. I'm like, who is that?
Who's Sofia Vergara?
Yeah, I was like, what? So then I looked it all up, and I was like, wow, didn't realize he was from Pittsburgh. But yeah, that was just like one of the things that you never thought would happen. But just the fact that like having Josh and I, and this was before I even got the Paralympic gold medal. I was asked to be on that, on the wall. That was after the Norway 2012 Worlds. So they were like, oh my gosh, he has a gold medal. When like I was trying out, I don't know about you, but like growing up, we always like want to just get a Paralympic gold medal. We didn't even think about like worlds or anything.
Yeah, it's
so the two worlds that I think you mentioned earlier that I was in, those are just bonus. Right. So the fact that I got this, like to be on Permane's wall for just getting a world's medal, which, just, a world's gold medal, like a lot of people would think like, oh, must be nice kind of thing. But again, it's a huge blessing, and I don't take it lightly, and I don't think I'm like better than anyone for it. It's just like, again, a huge blessing and a bonus for it. But it's funny to go in there and like always see people sitting next to it. And I haven't gone in there much, maybe like 3 times total. But always wanting to sit next to the picture and like not wanting to be a dick or anything and like kick people out of the spot.
I would just be like, hey, I'm in a wheelchair. I want this seat.
Yeah, be like, hey, that's me.
You see this face? It's right beside you.
Meanwhile, all the portraits, especially like mine, look like Jay Leno. With the chain and everything. It's hilarious.
I did think that,
But again, all of that is kind of bonus. And growing up, I just wanted that gold medal.
Right.
And
the Paralympic gold. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and we were talking about it. Like you and I were kind of the leading scorers for a solid, 10, 12 years at least.
And then, well, so Cody was kind of alluding to it earlier that at one point, and you as well were alluding to it, but at one point you were probably one of the best players in the world, if not like in this, at least in this general area.
I mean, in all
Team USA in this country, I don't think it's like. I feel like if you're like the best in the world, like you gotta
like
be like one of the top, being like top 10, and like I mean, you might get like 1 or 2 Canadian guys anymore that are like kind of in that mix, but I mean, for the most part, like the top players like still
in the world.
Declan,
they're still American.
No, but I mean like so at the time,
Tyler Caron, the fucking
he's
mound of muscle.
Exactly, he was solid muscle.
Oh god, yeah,
dude. So like my. So I didn't tell you how that kind of all ended up playing out after that. So I think he ended up like actually like shuffling like my fucking skull.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
he was one of the ones that like,
and that's why I like all the head stuff, like because like and then like it
was from him.
Well, I thought it was
like a combo of just like a bunch of different concussions.
Probably a bunch of them, but I think like ultimately that one might have been the one that like either like threw like the skull like slightly out of whack or something. But
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. But holy crap!
Yeah,
he was one of the ones on the team. I would have rather gotten hit by like Mike Holman or Taylor Chase.
Oh yeah,
rather than Tyler Caron.
I've been hit by Taylor Chase.
Yeah,
and
it's not fun.
I would rather be hit by Taylor Chase again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because Tyler like he's just solid muscle.
Yeah, he does not.
Taylor's lean. But like he's got some he's got some fat on him, a little bit, very little.
Because our heads
went exactly, yeah, and
the one right on each other.
And Tyler, you could see his like hands coming up every time he like came.
Yeah, anytime he starts to hit, he just brings both hands straight up.
I think I even caught him a bit by surprise because I don't think because you guys saw it better than I did, and then Nevin, you were just like.
I knew right away that was it.
That's the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there were very few players I would like skate off of a check from, but it was like him, Taylor Chase, and like Nico Landeros.
Yeah.
I was just like,
I would
not
try to
worth
hit Nico, and it would just not go well.
Yeah. The first time I got hit by Nico was his first year trying out, where he made the national team after he went to the camp.
Right.
And my first hit, I remember it pretty clearly. I tried to hit him. I tried to forecheck on him and hit him coming out of the zone. He made like a little like swivel, like a little cut really sharp. And all I caught was like my arms on his shoulder and both my sticks went flying.
Do you remember the time we were at the NHL Sled Classic playing Colorado and Nico has the puck and he comes out from behind the net and Zach of all people goes and is right on him. Zach's pressuring him, perfect job on the forecheck. And he starts skating towards the bench. I need a change. I'm cut. Cut.
Yep.
And his dad looks over and goes, "Are you bleeding?" And Zach goes, "No." He goes, "Get the fuck back out there." And Zach goes, "Okay." So after the game, we get back in the locker room. We're all changing and everything. Zach takes his chest protector off, and it fucking looks like Wolverine got him from one side of the chest to the other. I mean, he had, 6 pick marks across his chest, and they were pretty deep.
There was a few that were really deep.
Yeah.
But Zach, so all three of us, Zach, Nevin, and I, all have spina bifida.
Yes.
Different levels, different.
I think you and I are the same. L3, L4.
Either the same or like very similar.
Very similar. Yeah.
But Zach is a little higher. He's got thoracic spina bifida, and if you don't know what spina bifida is, it's just pretty much the easiest way to describe it is there was a hole in our back.
Or Google it.
Yeah, you can Google it. It's pretty intense in some cases. So have fun with that.
There will be a trigger warning for some people, I'm sure. But
edit that out. We don't do trigger warnings here.
No such thing as trigger warnings.
This is America.
Sorry, not on YinzCenter. There is no trigger warnings on YinzCenter. If you can handle it, then
fair enough.
Too bad. This is what him and I. Me and him and I were born with.
But so there was a hole in our back. Like our spines were literally exposed by like a myelin sheath kind of thing. So Zach's back has like a ledge on it. So like it's kind of difficult for him to breathe sometimes, and where he can feel, like where his nerves connect, are way higher than Nevin or I's nerves. So I think he felt it, like it was just where he could feel, but it wasn't like a full blown like, oh my gosh, like what is happening? Because he still went out.
Yeah, he still continued to play the game after that. But
we got in the locker room and it was like, oh my gosh, dude, like it was blood.
We all were laughing because it was just like, I can't believe that you yelled at your son like that, and then come to find out he's just like ripped to shreds.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was wild. That was nuts. But there's a ton of those kind of stories out there like that we've had growing up, and to me that's the funnest part, even more than like the medals and like traveling different places. Just those kind of little moments. Oh man.
So the camaraderie,
And that's why like you hear like spitting chiclets, and that's
Exactly,
like why
yeah.
that's taken off. Just hearing like some of these NHLers just getting their goofy tails out there, like Jeremy Roenick.
yeah, exactly. And I think that this
And you guys
podcast
are
can
probably
do
even
that.
wilder than them
Oh,
because
yeah.
like you take each other's fucking legs and go do some
Exactly.
goofy shit
So
with them. And
do you remember?
and everyone
apart.
thinks like I'm like this evil motherfucker, but then meanwhile you're the ones encouraging me to take Eric's legs.
I was
and
going to
shit.
say, so I was going to bring
his
that
leg.
story up. Yeah, do you remember that in
Oh,
Cleveland?
yeah,
so
absolutely.
we were playing in a tournament one time, and this team, we didn't have enough dressing rooms, so this one team was getting dressed in a party room, and they had a TV that was hanging up, and it had like a little ring around the outside of it. So we go into there, and we're all good friends. We had known each other for quite a few years at this point already. So we go in there while the other team's playing. We take this one kid's prosthetic legs, and we hang them up from the ring around the TV. Somebody, I don't know if somebody had broken a stick or what. So somebody's grandfather comes walking in, realizes there's a pair of prosthetic legs hanging from...
That Cody duct tape up on
Cody
the TV.
of all people.
Because you were the only one that could reach.
Yeah, he was the only one that could stand because
Yeah.
he was already like 6 foot at the time.
Yeah.
But so, and then he sees that I guess whoever he was with was relatively new to sled hockey, didn't understand the jokes behind it, whatever.
Yeah.
Took him down. Well, that just made us go 10 times harder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So then we used probably a whole roll of duct tape and just duct taped them to a wall.
Yep.
And then waited for them to come back in after the game. And the kid and his dad both thought it was hysterical.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
the thing that, like, honestly, I think, just getting a little personal, but so I'm a personal trainer as well, as you guys both know. But
shout out Dan McCoy Fitness.
DanMcCoyFitness.com.
DanMcCoyFitness.com.
Bam.
Dan McCoy Fitness on Instagram.
Yeah.
DanMcCoyFitness.com.
Took me a long time to figure out the name. It was a tough one.
I'm sure.
I was up quite a few nights. Yeah, thinking of that. It just kind of came to me in a
Why
dream.
didn't we just call this podcast like Two Grays podcast or something?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it could have been just as easy as Dan. Oh, well, anyways.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
exactly. I don't know where I was going with that. But
Something along the lines. I think maybe just because I don't know. Maybe back
Oh,
when
yeah,
in
so-
my day when I was in the game, like I didn't give a fuck who you were. I was still gonna
That's just-
give
Well,
you
no,
some
and that's how we-
razzing every now and then.
yeah, that reminds me of what I was going to say. That's how we grew up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
We grew up, like, growing up, I always would tell people, like, back when I made, like, the under-20 team, now the development team, and, like, the national team, this thing that my parents would always tell me is it's a blip on your radar, but it's not who you're going to be, and it's not your ultimate purpose. And throughout all of that, it was, this kind of thing where I always would think to myself, all right, I have an able-bodied mindset. Right? Meaning that, okay, yeah, my feet don't work, and like I don't have any like hamstring innervation barely, and the nerves in my calves aren't connected. Whatever. Use what you have, right? And I think that's kind of, it's sort of talked about today, but in a kind of condescending, demeaning manner, meaning like
absolutely.
like, oh, use what you have, like that, I'm not gonna say her name, but the woman outside. She
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
oh, you're an inspiration. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Okay,
no,
this
she was
might
just
actually
fucking
be the
around.
trigger warning. I don't know if they'll be cool with this.
whatever. Whatever. Hey, we got to be real. Honestly, like,
I mean,
that's the only way.
dude, I'm real too. I'm just
Yeah,
saying. Like,
That's just it.
Well,
I
But
mean,
just like, no.
so much for
my-
monetization. Goodbye.
No, my whole
it's one episode.
no, my whole point is no, it's not even like that bad. I don't think. My whole point is like, don't
We're
treat
the ones that are disabled. We should be able to say it.
Exactly.
You know what
No,
I mean?
but
Yeah, you guys can say
Don't-
It's the truth.
no, but don't treat people with disabilities like they're completely broken or useless or like it's an inspiration for them to just get out of bed.
Yeah,
'Cause,
exactly.
like, come on, like what kind of bar is that setting for the person if you tell them they're doing a great job just for moving,
Yeah,
like just for moving around?
Well, I mean,
you got to be able to challenge yourself.
Just aside from her, I even just so like I pushed here to the studio
Exactly,
this
yeah.
morning and like
I thought that was
just
sick.
on the
That
way
was
here,
dope.
like people were like, oh man, like so Cody, you know,
Pushing up the hill to get here.
Well, yeah, so I had to actually do 2 hills. Cody, you know
Okay.
the hill up from Lynchfield up to the trail up there to the 5-star trail. That one alone, most people like have a hard time walking up.
Yeah.
And like 2 or 3 people just put me after I got up onto the trail from pushing that. They were like, "Man, that's a workout, huh? Just doing that." And I literally was like, "Yeah, I'm about to go push up into town now too." And they were just like, "Whoa,
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and I was like, "Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, that's I'm
I
all
gotta
for
get a
like
workout in anyhow." So,
like I said, I'm a personal trainer, so like I am trying to like motivate people to
Right.
like get moving and all that. But my whole thing is like it's kind of a balance, right? Like you don't want to like tell someone that, oh my gosh, they're an inspiration just for moving. But if you see someone doing something cool that obviously takes a lot of like skill and like effort and all that, and motivation, like obviously tell them they're doing a good job, but not because you think they shouldn't be doing that because they have a disability.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Not just be like, oh, that's adorable.
And it comes from the family. Like we grew up differently, like in different areas, like in Fox Chapel,
Chapel.
Kind of similar too. Like our families didn't treat us like we were broken.
Exactly.
I mean, like our houses were not ADA
my
approved.
house is still not ADA approved.
Yeah.
I
and honestly, I don't know about you.
for anything.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
The amount of people that I see out and walking around town, and they're like, "Oh, you got to put a motor on that thing."
Yeah.
I'm like, my arms are my motor.
Yeah. No, honestly, the only thing I would do to my chair is put a blinker on it, like blinkers to like tell people which way I'm turning.
Motor.
I am the motor. Yeah. But
I am the machine.
All right, Bert Kreischer.
My shirt's on.
No, but that's one of the things, like as a trainer, I'm trying to not really change the opinions of able-bodied people, but try to change the mindset of people with disabilities to get out of that mindset that they've been told from people either in their family, friends, society, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big one to say like, oh, society's ruined. Because like ultimately you're in charge of what gets into your brain and how you live your life.
You are, right? But I feel like society's also kind of at the point where like they'll give you any kind of pass to
And honestly,
create your excuse to.
I'll be the first one to say I've taken advantage of it, like knowing my full capabilities, but like I'll take a handicap spot any day.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like just farting around. But sometimes I will like park as far away as possible because to me, like having a manual chair, we actually have an easier time.
Oh yeah, it's so much
getting
easier.
through because like we can just push through the parking lot, and for us, we have like the fitness mindset, right. So we're trying to like challenge ourselves.
Exactly.
That's how we see it, and like I get that not everyone's like that, or not everyone has that ability. But kind of going back to what I was saying a few minutes ago, use what you have, right, and that's the whole thing of like getting to the Paralympics, and Aaron, that you're going for another run. I was on the third line for most of my like time on the team, on the national team. I think the first couple years I was like kind of fluctuating between the first and second, but it was a different team at the time. And I was like one of the fastest players, like maybe my second and third year.
That was a very evenly stacked team compared to today's team.
Exactly. Yeah, that's one way to put it.
And that's why I think you could bring in a really nice different element to the team where you could be like that Nico type of monster that could just like fucking hammer people.
Not making fat shaming or anything, but like you got the size and you know how to use it.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah. So I was talking to Ethan the other day, and I was telling him like I'm down to like what, except like 199, 198, something like that.
Nice.
I think if I get down to about 175, 170,
then you could be a really nice like.
I'm at 175 right now.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like that's about ideal because I don't want to get too small.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get to like 150, and then so when you're on a cut, just kind of getting into some fitness stuff. When you're going onto a cut or like you're trying to drop pounds,
trying to cut weight.
Yeah. So like when you're trying to cut weight, a good rule of thumb is always try to get like 5 to 10 pounds lower than your goal maintenance weight, because once you go from cutting to maintenance, there's going to be a rebound and you're going to gain some weight back, whether it's fat or muscle or water, whatever. You're going to gain some weight back. So don't like try to stop at the number that you want to maintain. Try to go a little lower. Because it'll be easier to maintain the number you want after that. But yeah, I think if you get down to 175, you're going to be a
That's what
machine.
I mean. Yeah, I already have a pretty decent amount of speed.
You're actually
a fat boy.
My dad, Ray, and I
3C's thick.
Always exactly. That's how you got to live. 3C's thick. That should be the tagline for the show.
Oh, maybe. Anyways, your dad and Ray.
That has nothing to do with anything. But
it's still a pretty good episode idea.
Exactly.
I especially like it since I'm writing that down.
There you go.
3C's thick.
No, but my dad and I and Ray have talked like over the years when like you've had your like health issues and like you've been taking some time off.
Yeah.
You can literally take as much time as you want off, and you don't get any worse.
Yeah.
Like you don't. You might feel like you lose speed or like energy or like endurance or whatever, but like you just maintain so freaking well. It's unreal.
So, I mean, the only thing that I can really attribute that to, I think, is just it's like
part of your
memory
blood.
At this
yeah,
point.
exactly. Yeah,
it's part of your playing since I was, since we were 3-4 years old.
Yeah. For most kids, like riding a bike is like that one thing.
You don't even think about it.
Well, and that's definitely like a anatomy, physiology, like exercise science, like concept, of like muscle memory and all that. That's definitely a thing. But it's just like even your hockey IQ, like the game never slows down for you. It's impressive.
But to that, I mean, I'm just absorbing as much hockey as I can, honestly. And I mean, it sounds cliche, but I don't think you can watch enough hockey and learn enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you think of people like Sidney Crosby, Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky, all these guys at any sport.
Yeah.
They're at that pinnacle. They're constantly studying what they can do to get better, and
I'll agree with that
and
because
how-
you annoy the shit out of me with just like all the different random hockey topics that you bring up. I'm like, dude, it's July. Like, I'm trying to play golf right now, and you are blowing me up about like Jason Spezza getting hired.
I didn't see that until this morning, actually. So
You're just on your backswing. You're on your backswing on
slow.
like a par 5 or something, and he just yells "goal" as you're on your backswing. What the fuck?
Well, he doesn't go golfing with me. He
You should.
doesn't.
You should drive the cart.
I think we all know how that ended the last time I
Yeah,
drove a
you
golf
guys need to
cart.
come to the golf outing.
I will be there. He cannot make it.
Why?
Pittsburgh Mighty Penguins golf outing.
Yeah, buddy.
June 24th, right?
Yep.
Out in Export, PA.
Export, PA,
I
yeah.
can't remember the name
Yeah,
of the.
it's not the same one. It's always,
No.
yeah.
Can't remember the name of the course, but shout out to
it'll be
them
in the
for-
show notes.
Exactly. So
Adding more
shout
work
out
for
to
you.
the Cody can handle that. It's fine.
Just
We have fun.
I got nothing to say.
Yeah, exactly. But kind of getting back into the, I don't know, just trying to provide value for people.
Right.
So the whole experience, if we both, but kind of speaking to my own personal experience, if my parents would have raised me to see myself as like, oh, I'm not going to be able to achieve something just because my feet don't work.
Right.
Or like just because I'm in a wheelchair and people are going to look at me differently. Honestly, I don't know about you, but I don't notice when people look at me like weird or like angrily or like if they look at me in like a condescending manner.
Right.
I just kind of laugh to myself when I get any looks. I'm like,
Yeah,
I wonder
see
what they
somebody-
think of like us pushing up a hill or something.
Right. Yeah.
You got to think of it positively. Like, how am I impacting that person's like mindset or that
like,
person's outlook?
It's not like I'm out here doing this to like try and push other people to live a healthier life or work out
Or like you're trying to be
just occasionally
like show you.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like show off.
Yeah.
But I figure I had what the hell, I had to get a workout in today.
Well, it's no different than like just the guy that's running just
Exactly.
or the psycho biker guy, like the bicyclist guy who would always fucking yell at you. And,
here.
Yeah, of course that one.
Crazy that.
Oh,
This guy
dude,
was,
this
like,
guy,
right around, like
damn.
on Route 30, just on a bike, like would just, like,
The most
throw
major
rocks at
highway
people.
in this town, this small town, this guy's riding his bicycle, flipping you off.
Oh my
like you're
gosh.
in the wrong when he's driving on
And it's not one of those
a car highway.
electrical bikes either.
It's
that
just a
have like
manual.
This
one
is
of
a
those-
pedal
yeah,
bike.
it's a regular pedal bike. So
I think
not
he's in
going
jail
fast.
for good now.
I think he is too, because like I said, I'm pretty sure he was throwing rocks at cars and stuff.
He's probably still riding his bike in there though.
He would come into Shop and Save when I worked there in high school, and he would like buy like one banana and then be like, "Why is this banana?" And then I don't know.
Yeah,
He was
we
just
had a guy like
he was
that.
just a
Is it that shop and
nuisance.
save near the one church?
It's closed now. It's
Okay.
gonna be a big old
'Cause I know there's a
family
shop and
entertainment
save.
center.
I don't know if there's like some sort of like.
That said it was gonna open.
There was
soon.
a shop
It's
and
still
save in
not
Young
open.
one.
Okay, I don't know, but anyway, to get to any level, like any high level of anything, to make any sort of USA team or like any team in general, you have to have a good support system, right? Like we wouldn't have been able to get to our levels of hockey without like our parents like motivating us, without our siblings motivating us, all that kind of stuff.
Without our coach, Ray Harding. Shout
exactly,
out Ray,
yeah.
over the last 24, 25 years dealing with our shit, as you guys can now hear.
And Ray, like, God bless him. I don't know how he's put up with us for so long, but he just kind of takes it all in stride, and it's like, he's a second dad to us, honestly.
Yeah, he absolutely is. I mean,
We wouldn't be here without him, for
No,
sure.
the stuff we've done to him over the years, just the pranks we've pulled on him and stuff.
And it's not like he's got this vast knowledge and experience with hockey.
No,
Like,
he has
he's
not,
learning
like-
along with us. So
I mean, Ray basically knew nothing about the sport of hockey in general when he first started coaching
Yeah,
us, let
exactly.
alone sled hockey.
The ultimate volunteer dad.
exactly, yeah.
honestly,
and yet he's the one that's organizing the golf outing every year too.
And also shout out to the Mighty Penguins president, Dan's dad, Mark McCoy, also an assistant coach for the last 24 years of the Pittsburgh Mighty Penguins.
He's an ass coach. Me too.
You are an ass coach.
I mean, ass coach. No, but seriously, like you don't get to those levels without some sort of support with it. So you're never like self-made. If that makes sense, right? So like you always have support. You always have to make it to any of those kind of levels. And you always have to have that mindset of like, okay, there are things that I can't do, but I'm not going to focus on those. I'm just going to focus on what I can do. And if the things that I can't do hinder what I can do, then I'll try to work on it and like try to get better. Like, for example, I'm terrible at math. I don't know.
Yeah, oh God, yeah, I know.
right. And that's a spina bifida hydrocephalus
Exactly,
thing,
yeah.
right. But I don't want to always use that as an excuse of like why I can't do some things. But there's just some aspects it does affect.
Right.
It's
just out of our control.
Yeah, but there's so many like in the medical system. Like I'm working in as a personal trainer at the Spina Bifida Association or the Spina Bifida Hospital here at the adult clinic here in Pittsburgh, and not just in spina bifida, but in all medical system, it's always what is the worst case scenario,
right? Instead
of what is the best case scenario. Whereas like my doctor, Dr. Rigel, is really the doctor that kind of saved my life right when I was born. Mm-hmm. He told my parents, all right, obviously all these terrible things that these other doctors were saying could happen, right? Of like, it affecting the family, like, I don't know, husband and wife relationships, that kind of thing, like older, younger siblings getting affected, like emotionally, like physically, whatever. But here's what could go right, and let's focus on that stuff. Exactly. So that's like, I think that's what families should really focus on, and kids should focus on too. Like when you go into school, there's like a lot of bullying and stuff that goes on. I was very blessed; I never got bullied, but I think it's because I started sled hockey so young, and I was like working out, so to speak.
Right.
Everybody else at Fox Chapel knew that you were the most athletic kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they knew that
I was the only kid.
This kid's better at me at this than anything else I could ever hope to do in my life.
Well, and that's kind of something you and I were just talking about the other day.
Yeah.
You had sent me something and something about the Olympics, and it was just like, like a lot of people, even still now, because I graduated almost 10 years ago. I mean, just kids with disabilities shouldn't be beating the greater population of able-bodied students in physical fitness tests.
Able-bodied folks, if y'all are listening out there, we're using our arms, right?
Strictly
our legs don't work well.
Well, your legs work better than mine.
I got quads and like half a hamstring. That's all I'm working with here.
I have
and like hips.
Hey man, everybody's got something they're going through. They could have got their head shifted by a monstrous mound of meat.
That sounds
muscle.
like a you problem.
I think I would rather have my legs not work though.
That's a you problem. I mean, no, absolutely.
No, it's better. It's a lot better now. My chiropractor has been amazing.
There you go. Just don't get him to crack your neck where like a piece of your bone goes into your spinal cord. Let's not do that one.
Oh, this guy's my girlfriend got me hooked on this guy, and he is the best in the area, and it's oh boy. No, but seriously, all of this comes down to mindset. Right? Exactly. Mindset and your support system. And not to get like real philosophical or like touchy-feely with it, but we wouldn't have achieved like the things we've achieved and like even the success with the local team.
Exactly.
If anyone had held us back like emotionally or like in our lives, our local team wouldn't have gone from a team of like not even 10 players to an organization of 6 teams total and like 60, 70 players total.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how far the sport's come.
That's insane. Like we both started from literally the ground level.
Yeah, I
mean,
having to go up to play with the Erie Otters.
Exactly, every other weekend or whatever.
And we were 5, 6, 7 years old.
And like my mom was
men.
Yeah, my mom was like the first official like executive director of the local Mighty Penguins team.
Shout out Angie McCoy.
Exactly. And again, like a lot of people hear me say like, oh, my dad's in the program. My mom was the first executive director of the program as it is now. And like, of course he made it to the Paralympics. Like, no, that doesn't automatically like
absolutely
like count you in for a gold medal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yes, my parents absolutely helped me out. And like, I will be forever in debt to them, but I still had to put in the work. Right.
Yeah. You were the one that had to go and put in the work every day. Actually, if you could elaborate on that a little bit, because I'm not sure that a lot of people know exactly how much effort a Paralympian has to put in.
It's a full-time job. It was back then, 10 years ago, and it's even more so now because like they get sponsorships and all that kind of stuff, which I have my own opinions on that kind of stuff. But it's a full-time job. So I didn't start working out in the gym at all until I was 14.
Okay.
And for me too. It was actually, I remember the exact day I figured out, okay, I'm probably going to make this under 20 national, like the development team. As they call it now. I was talking with my parents on the porch, and I think it was like a summer or spring day or something. And we were talking about, okay, what's like the one thing that separates folks on like local teams from folks that are on like these development teams, national teams and things. And it was exercise, right? It was getting into the gym. Just as any other sport. Again, sled hockey, adaptive sports are just like any other sport. We just do it a little differently. We use a little smaller muscles, but in some respects, it's more difficult, right?
I think so. I mean, over the years, we've had a lot of able-bodied people come out and try the sport, and especially like we do fundraiser games every year, and we have typically it's going to be like a stand-up team or doctors from UPMC,
or physical therapists,
and you know, they all can use their legs and don't really use their upper body. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. And they don't realize how much core strength it takes too. Yeah.
So and I mean, by like
I'm all fat now. I don't play anymore.
I still play and I am fat. So
I gotta take it down.
Great, thanks for that.
Just disabled.
True. It's. I mean, well, it doesn't happen for just disabled people, but
it's a little different.
You know,
you don't listen in there.
Anyways, so
back on track here. So the getting into the gym, I literally just started in the gym to get stronger in sled hockey.
Yeah,
that was the main thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So from 14 to 16, I was in the gym 3 days a week and on the ice at least once a week for like our practices. But kind of starting at 14 years old, I was trying to get as much ice time as possible. And again, shout out to my mom for finding the ice, and shout out to my dad for taking time off of work and, you know, being able to, you know,
running all possible,
or leaving work early and coming to practices just one-on-one with me and working down in like either Harmerville, Lower Borough, where we practice now, or, you know, like out in Cranberry, whatever. We would just find random ice times, and I would obviously, you know, my parents, you know, they still are incredible parents. Like, they would tell me I had to get my homework done or I couldn't skate. So that developed the mindset of like academics as well as, you know, I was never like an incredible student. I made like honor roll and National Honor Society and whatever, but I was never like a super intellectual kid. It was more the physical stuff that I was into, which is hilarious to even like talk about because we're disabled, right? We're crippled.
A little bit.
You know, like saying that I would rather use my body than use my brain is just like, it makes people laugh sometimes or like look at me like I'm crazy, but that's the truth. So pretty much like growing up from 14 to 20 years old, sled hockey and getting this gold medal was the main thing.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure it could like show on the ice, right?
Oh yeah.
But kind of going off of like, it's a full-time job. I didn't go to one homecoming or one prom at all during high school.
Right.
Not because like I couldn't go. Like I probably wasn't going to get a date or anything.
Not
but
to because
bro, you would have got some pussy.
I'm Catholic, you know.
You would have.
Waiting until marriage.
I pray my rosary and I wait till marriage. But my senior prom, I had tickets. I had a ticket to go with one of my friends that I actually was able to take to Sochi, Caleb.
Oh yeah. Caleb.
So I got a ticket because he wanted me to go, and I was like, all right, I don't have an excuse of not to go. I didn't want to go because I don't dance.
Yeah,
I can play the drums, so I make the beats that people dance to. I don't dance to them. But that night, I was getting ready, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to wear because I didn't have a tux or anything or whatever. Right. I was just going to wear some suit, like some whatever hand-me-down kind of thing, and I was all pissed off. I didn't want to go. And my dad comes in and says, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" I'm saying, I was like begrudgingly saying like, "Oh, I got to go to prom and whatever," because you know, I told my friends I would go, and he's like, "Do you want to go to a Penguins game?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" So I skipped my homecoming and like any chance for like prom, my senior prom, probably junior prom if I could have gone, but my senior prom and homecomings to just watch an NHL Penguins game. Right, to just go to the arena. And we were talking earlier, like just trying to learn everything you can about the game.
Exactly.
And yes, like we use our arms to push through on the ice, and like have to use our arms to skate and stick handle and shoot. But hockey's hockey, right? The positioning's all the same.
Games still played the same.
Exactly. So anytime we're watching.
We just can't skate backwards.
Exactly.
I'd say that's your biggest thing is like the transition defense. I'd say that's your biggest.
Yeah. So we have to time it a little more, and like my dad calls it equalizing your speed. So you have to like skate up toward the person from the outside, force them to the outside, then like curl back around and make contact from there. But I would be going to as many games as possible, not for like the enjoyment of seeing my hometown team win, which obviously was great. Got to go to some like outdoor. Like the big screen things like during the Stanley Cup runs.
Right, yeah.
But it was really just to learn the game, right? And I didn't want to be anywhere else.
Exactly.
Right? So once I made the national team at 16 to 20, I was getting multiple ice times a week, like by myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Around my area, like maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes away from me. And I would just be skating by myself like 4 or 5 days a week, before or after school, whatever.
Right.
And I actually graduated high school early to go to Norway for my first World Championships.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a full-time job then. And talking about muscle memory, that's really what built up the thing that I can take some time off of training now and come back and be fine.
And we're
Can
still
actually properly recover
Exactly.
before jumping in. But that's kind of the nice part. What you're saying, like, I mean, being a student is also a full-time job.
Yeah.
What's nice for you now that you're going, 27, 28, going on 30 here, and I mean, you don't really have a full-time job. Well, this could be your full-time job.
Yeah,
this is about it. I mean, you get that is your full-time job. You don't have to worry about prom
these
or
next couple of years is pretty much going to be strictly dedicated to trying to get onto the Milan team.
Yeah. And honestly,
going
whatever
to Milan.
happens, because there's a lot of stuff out of control.
You know what? Yeah,
yeah.
If I don't make it, I
still be
just
in-
want to be able to put
but
my
you know what?
hardest and best
Exactly.
Yep.
opportunity.
You want to
This
look
is
back
my
on
last
it.
chance.
You want to look back on it and realize you left everything out there.
And we're going to give you the
so-
strongest support system
Exactly,
that
yeah.
we actually
exactly.
Oh,
can.
I'm so down to get like extra ice time. I've been
yeah.
actually like missing playing at that or like training at that high level. So
So
I'm
if any-
so down to
Yeah,
do that.
we need to start
Yeah.
getting more.
So if there's any ice people out there that can get us in touch with some good ice around the Pittsburgh, Westmoreland area, let us know, man. Let us know.
please.
We'd love to try and we'll shout you out and
we're very we skate very well with able-bodied players as well. So if you're listening and you own a rink and you're like, well, I have my stick times, but
We've
I
gone to
don't
those.
wanna, yeah, exactly.
Gone to those plenty.
Center,
So-
I think, still has the
Center
stick
Ice
times.
still has
Yeah.
theirs. Yeah, I
Remember
try
when
to
we
go
went
there.
with? Remember we went and just lit up some of those able-bodied goalies.
Yeah.
Some of those goalies, yeah.
I remember
I
seeing
was there.
the first time we would go right to left on them.
Exactly.
They were not expecting that at all. Yeah, it was that's
I
actually
had no idea.
that's actually so fun to shoot on able body
Oh,
goalie.
yeah, 'cause they don't
so
know
much
what
more
to-
difficult because they take up way more than that.
so much more.
But it helps train actually
really
a lot,
does, yeah.
a lot better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
So,
definitely help them out.
I mean, hey, this is the best. This is the best thing we can do right here. We're gonna start this off, and we're gonna try and get this whole city, all of Greensburg, or
Absolutely.
maybe even the whole county behind you, man. I think we're gonna try and rattle. And
honestly,
the
that
boys,
kind of
the teams,
that kind
I'm
of
sure your team's
like
gonna
Josh
help you
did
out,
for
too.
me.
Exactly.
Like Josh did for me, I'm happy to do whatever,
Exactly, yeah.
whatever to help
I
you
mean,
out.
at this at this
You're not gonna
point,
take a shot, Dan? You don't want to go back on? You don't want
I'm
to go to
good.
Milan?
I'm good.
Okay.
Like we
I
were
don't
saying
think Dan
earlier.
just wants to get involved.
I just honestly, so like back when I was around, right, in the national program, it was not, to put it lightly, it was not the same as it is now. So like we were literally strictly business.
Right.
It was all about the hockey, and we were trained on how to answer interviews leading up to the games and like in like world championships and stuff. And we were literally taught at one point during Sochi. This was back during when Putin was still going crazy back then. He started pretty young.
He wasn't as crazy back then. But
Wasn't as crazy, but there
still
were
pretty
there were-
crazy.
There were some hints.
A little bit.
He was invading Crimea,
Exactly.
right? So there were Russian gunships pointing their cannons toward their own people on the Black Sea, right? So we would get questions of like, "What do you think of the Crimea, whatever?" from a Russian reporter, and that was the only interview I ever got. I was so upset. I was so pumped to get like interviews and talk about hockey and everything. And while we were eating in the dining hall, a reporter and a camera came up to me and they were like,
God.
I was eating pasta and sushi, and I had like some pasta in my mouth, and I turn around and he's like, "So what do you?" In his like broken Russian accent. "So what do you think of the Crimea, whatever incident, whatever he called it?" And I was
man.
the only answer that I was allowed to give, the only answer I wanted to give, really, was, "I'm just here to play hockey. I have no idea what's going on there."
That is the correct
mean,
answer.
yeah.
Exactly. Like, and honestly,
If
like,
you say anything else, you're fucked.
and I didn't know anything about it, so like, it's not like I could say anything else,
Right.
right? So, and I was 20 years old, so like, what?
Yeah, we're not even shit.
No, but I mean, nowadays it kind of sucks that like you have to stand for certain things even if you don't want to, and like,
Right.
like you have to like support certain things even when you don't believe in them, and okay, you can talk about like able or like people with disabilities and like adaptive athletes and Paralympians should be paid the same as Olympians. I was never in it for that. Personally, like it was never
No.
about that. It was just about getting that gold medal.
Exactly.
And teach their own. If you want to do that, that's totally
I
fine.
mean, listen, money's not. I'm not going to say
It's a
no
bonus.
to money.
Exactly, it's a bonus.
But growing up, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to get to go win a gold medal, and I'm not going to ask you how much, but $5,000, $10,000.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. it was never about the money.
For the gold medal.
Exactly.
That's the only thing I care about. Yeah.
And the experiences are going to help more people along the way, too.
I mean, just the experiences that we've had playing club hockey, club sled hockey, compared to the ones that we've had on the national team. I mean, I remember being one time with a team, and we were in Fort Wayne, Indiana, at a mall, the entire team.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And Mike Kemka, rest in peace, the quietest guy on the team.
Yep.
He comes up to me and goes, "Hey, let me pull up on your shoulder real quick." I said, "Okay." So he pulls himself up, so he's on like one wheel. Pulls the thread of his axle of his chair out, so it's barely on, and he's pushing, and all of a sudden his wheel falls off, and it goes into the store, and we're like pretty much right beside a food court.
Couple old ladies.
Oh yeah, I remember there was this one bigger lady. She was on an oxygen tank, and I just remember her face being wide open. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this just happened. We're all sitting there dying laughing, and then my dad, who's 6'6", comes not running, but comes walking. Jason Gray. He comes walking in, and he goes, "What the fuck did you guys do?" And we're all laughing, but we're like, Mike did it himself.
Yeah, no one would have expected Mike at the time.
And
the quietest guy.
It.
Like
it was no, he didn't. He wouldn't do that to himself.
Yeah.
And
meanwhile, at his funeral, his brother was even saying he used to do that all the time.
Yeah, we talked to his brother at his funeral, and he was like, "Yeah, no, he did that shit all the time."
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's awesome.
Like, that was so funny just to see him personally like get out of his shell.
Exactly.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I miss that dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I do want a couple things here before we get ready to go here. Just I did want to shout out Jordan Hauser again. Thanks again for letting us use the local 724 studios to get this thing started off. I really appreciate it. And
be sure to go check that out.
Yeah, please check it out. It's been around longer than we have, and if you haven't already, it's entertaining content. And just have a couple more things here. I think Kyle Dubas should hire us. Why not all three of us?
We could be an assistant GMs for him and Jason's.
I could be a scout or something.
We're just talking about like in general.
If I can teach them to go right to left under the sled, I'm down.
Well, we're hockey guys, right?
Yeah.
If I can teach them to go right to left under the champion, sled. So like I love stats, and he's a stats guy.
I don't like numbers, so all y'all.
That's me. Like I'll be the stats guy.
I'll work off ice with the guys.
Yeah. Well, and I got certified as a coach.
I'll teach them how to move their feet.
And
there you go.
And Harrison Burgess, I coached him up.
Yeah, exactly.
So
got him onto the development team.
Got him onto the development team. Kelsey DeClaudio credits me along with Josh Wert.
Yep.
Well, mostly Josh Wert, but me for also not hanging up and
you provided the verbal support.
Oh yeah, I brought the verbal older brother support that all of you crippled folks needed to help accelerate your games to the next level.
Exactly.
Shout out to Kelsey today. She's by far the best player in our sport.
Far and away,
the best woman in our sport.
Yeah, best female player to ever play the game. No contest.
We like how we were talking about Declan. She's the
female Declan.
Far and away. Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah. So then, also, an old friend of mine once said Nikita Filatov was going to be a really good NHL player.
Yeah.
And I told him that he was wrong. I was right.
I don't know what that is, but
yeah, he's a bust.
Okay.
But then we got
just because he said
because I say that
18 years ago.
I'm
what do you,
smart.
Okay, so what do you guys think of?
Well, we got like 60 years experience. Kyle Dubas, hire us.
What do you guys think of Jokinen back when he played? Kind of left field question.
UC Jokinen?
I know why you brought him up.
UC Jokinen or Ollie Jokinen?
UC.
Solid.
Dan loved him because of the breakaway attempts and the shootout attempts were always the same.
When they got rid of him. I still miss the guy.
He was so good in shootouts.
Unreal player.
UC Juicy J.
Juicy J. Love him.
Yeah, so that's pretty much our message. Yeah, 60 years of experience of hockey between us. Well, actually, now it's got to be like closer to 90 because we're all pushing 30.
Yeah, I'm going to be 30 in less than a year.
Even though I haven't played in a few years. But, once you're in the game, you'd it
never leaves.
It doesn't leave.
It never leaves. Yeah. And honestly, like we've talked about this multiple times, and I don't know about you, but like during the lockdowns and everything, it hit me pretty hard.
Oh my God!
Like I don't know.
Skate.
I can't imagine not playing.
Yeah,
and it's going to be tough if like I ever got to hang up the pads.
I also think Kyle Dubas could be like pretty good. I think you could be good friends. Just saying, I think we could hang out. We could be boys. He's not too much older than us. You know, he's like
that's true.
36. 37?
36, 37.
If I can get them to go right to left under the sled while they're standing up skating, that's a win.
Yeah.
So
This is my picture for the Penguins now.
There you
On
go.
this is Kyle Dubas with the foam finger.
14
and a
years ago
Crosby
today,
jersey
the
on.
Penguins had 400,000 people piling into the parking garages and streets
Oh,
of
yeah.
Pittsburgh because of a Stanley Cup celebration.
Yes, sir.
Parades. We need a parade again.
We need a parade again.
So with Kyle Dubas on board, and
Thank you, Kyle
if he
Dubas.
hires us,
We'll
to,
take whatever job.
I think his Stanley Cup is back on the menu as far as that goes. And as Penguins fans, Ron Hextall, I know I was livid. I was booing the
from the
shit
beginning,
out of him.
That was
front and center, fronting the lower balls. I think Nevin's like, he texted me during the Oilers game I was at. He's like, "Did you start the fire Hextall chant?" I said, "Yep, I might have had something to do with that." Yes.
I
And
from
the people
beginning-
listen to me.
From the beginning, I truly believe he came in. He wasn't brought in on purpose to destroy it from within, but he came in with the intention to destroy it from within.
The Flyers wanted a plant
Exactly. That's
to
what I'm
destroy
saying.
the Penguins.
Hey,
Timmy Jones, I blame you.
Timmy. Yeah. No,
But
but
yeah.
he was. I feel like he was a sleeper agent there.
You think another cup's back on the menu if they buy out Granlund?
I think we gotta get.
They've got a few moves.
We got a lot of moves to
yeah,
make.
we got some things to do there.
Next
we-
3
I
years.
think we got a couple of buyouts we got to make.
Would you expect a cup in the next 3 years? Is the ultimate question.
I would say, to me, I'm kind of a pessimist with a lot of stuff. I think
Yeah.
we're in a rebuild phase for the next at least like 5.
Yeah, or kind of like our fun. Yay!
think
we're like-
We get to watch our old guys
Like the
hang around.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Just
think
kind of
we,
like.
I think we still might make the playoffs the next couple of years. I'm not saying we'll go
I don't
deep.
Think, I don't think we'll go deep.
I think we got at least one more run in us.
I think we might.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to
With
be
the current-
next year
with the current program.
with this
With
current
Sid,
squad.
Gino,
Yeah, with Sid,
Letang.
Gino, Letang core. I think we got one more solid run. I don't think it's going to be next year because there's just so much
just
of
so
this
much
roster
shit.
construction that's just going
Yeah.
to need to be redone between the Granlund buyout, and Jeff Carter just needing to get the hell out of here.
What are we thinking in net? What do we think about Tristan Jarry and the him and the duo of him and Casey?
I don't mean to
Smith?
be like, disparaging them or anything, but I genuinely haven't felt like the Penguins have had a starting goalie, even though they're like technically starting. But we haven't had a starting goalie presence. It hasn't felt like it since Fleury.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I thought Matt
him-
Murray in 16 and 17 had those vibes.
Yeah,
He
he
felt
always
like
did.
it, but
always
it's not the case.
He always had Fleury to lean back on.
Exactly, and I think he kind of knew that.
I mean, he had some personal stuff going on. Like,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
he lost
He
his
was
dad,
the-
he got cancer. And
Yeah,
right,
and that was the glue guy in the locker room. I
Yeah,
don't think Matt
yeah.
Murray was ever meant to be the guy, and I don't know if Tristan's also capable of being the guy either.
What happened to DeSmith? I don't.
He's the
focus on
backup
anything.
now.
Okay.
yeah,
I think
And I don't
he's at
he's
best
a very
a
good
backup.
backup.
Okay.
I think he's at
think
best
he's
a good third stringer like Louis Domingue.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's an AHL goalie.
Like, honestly,
Right
I-
wing.
Solid.
I don't
Solid
focus on
goalie.
any of
solid.
I don't focus on any of the back end stuff like you guys do. I just kind of like I barely watch like what's going on in games at this point.
Yeah,
You just watch it to have fun.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, yeah, like
just watching it to study it. I mean, like,
yeah.
He's watching
I
to study.
don't- I don't
You're
even-
watching it like I watch Pirate games, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna fall asleep here
Well,
by the time we hit the
I
second
forget a
intermission.
Pirate game is happening or like a Steeler game. I forget those kind of games are happening.
Oh, yeah.
when I'm there too.
Oh yeah, dude. I love football, right? And you knew I love football. I went to a Steelers game and I was bored out of my mind. I'm I want to go home and watch Red Zone. I don't even enjoy
Did I
this.
tell you about my one and only Steelers game that I remember? Partially. Okay, so Caleb, my friend,
yes,
one of my best friends. He said his parents got some sort of real nice seats, like along the 50, maybe like 5-6 rows up. I don't like football at all. I think it's very boring. Same with baseball. I like coming from hockey. It's tough to watch.
right.
That
'cause it's
kind of
just
thing.
constant action.
Like
in
it's tough to
hockey.
pay attention to. Yeah, exactly. So I just never got into hockey, right? Or
Football.
never got into football. Or
NFL
baseball.
football.
Exactly. Yeah. College is a different story. That can be fun sometimes to watch, especially like in the big games. But
I've been getting more into football.
there you go.
You watched Ted Lasso yet?
But no. Caleb, one of my friends, said that, hey, my parents have some pretty nice seats at a Steeler game. Do you want to go? And I was like, dang it, I don't like football, but sure, why not? We'll hang out. I ended up getting so belligerent. I had a few adult beverages, maybe half of a bottle of adult beverage.
That sounds about right.
Well, that's kind of the way to do it, though.
And I don't remember.
I tried to go.
I don't remember halftime, and I don't remember the second half of the game. All I remember is being slumped over and getting really bad sunburn on my neck.
Ooh. Yeah, I tried to even go watch the Chiefs, like with Patty Mahomes and Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
And I stayed more on the sober side of things because I drove my grandparents down there.
Yeah.
And I found myself bored, and I was like just sunburned, and I was just like, I want to go home because like the Kansas City was just kind of kicking their ass.
It's so hard to pay attention.
Well, that's why NFL Red Zone is great because it's just constant football.
And that's why, like, even anymore with hockey, I just watch the highlights.
Oh yeah. Football.
I don't have time to like watch a full game.
Yeah. Anyways, well, hey, we've been in here for about an hour now, so I think we got some good content in here, boys. I think.
So.
Yeah, that was
fun. This is a fun time. I'm looking forward to doing the next.
I'm pumped you guys are starting this.
It's pretty dope. Fun. Yeah.
I think we're gonna get some structure and.
We'll figure it out.
It's been fun.
You know, like I said, whatever happens with this episode, you know, it's just.
I
fun
think
to
this
get
has
your feet
been
wet with
great,
it.
though.
Yeah.
I don't have an outro for us.
No, but I mean, the biggest thing I think, like for you guys, is just provide value that like isn't already out there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, bye.
That's the best I got.
Hey, I like it.
Dude, this
Thank
song's
y'all
dope.
for listening.
I like this song.
Yeah, thanks for listening,
Party
and
on
we'll
Fifth
see you
Ave.
next week.
All right, go Pens.